The morning sun bathed the forest with warmth, casting long shadows beneath the tall, ancient trees. Birds sang gently above, their melodies blending with the faint rustling of leaves. Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, sat cross-legged beneath the Bodhi tree, his presence radiating calm and wisdom. Disciples gathered around him, eager to hear his words. Ananda leaned forward slightly, eyes wide with anticipation, while Kassapa settled into quiet observation. The air seemed to still as Buddha began to speak. The root of suffering lies within the mind, Buddha said. It is born from craving, attachment, and ignorance, ever-present forces. To free yourselves, you must recognize these roots and confront them with clarity and resolve, he continued, his voice steady. Today, we shall begin with right view, the first step along the Eightfold path to liberation from suffering, Buddha explained. Right view is seeing the world as it truly is, not through the distorted lens of desire or fear, he said. The truth is that all things are impermanent, fleeting, and subject to change. Impermanence governs the fabric of existence, Buddha stated. A flower blooms brightly, but it will fade. The sun rises in glory, but it must always set, he elaborated. Consider the tree before us. Its branches sway with the seasons, adapting to each cycle, never clinging to permanence, he added. The failure to accept impermanence causes the heart to cling, resulting in pain and suffering, Buddha said softly. To accept impermanence is to let go, to live freely without being bound by illusions of permanence, he affirmed. A disciple raised a hand hesitantly, asking, Master, how can we embrace impermanence when we cherish what brings us joy? Buddha smiled. To cherish without clinging is the path forward. Joy should be savored, but not grasped tightly, he responded. As you would hold water in your hand, cherish joy lightly, allowing it to flow and nourish you, Buddha explained. This is right view. Not the rejection of joy, but the acceptance of its fleeting nature, Buddha clarified with gentle strength. It is through right view that you awaken to the truth of life's impermanence. Removing ignorance, he said with certainty. Impermanence does not diminish life's beauty. It enhances it, revealing each moment as unique and precious, Buddha explained with clarity. The path to enlightenment begins when you see clearly, without illusion, and understand the impermanence of all things, he remarked. The mind, clouded by desires, craves stability where none exists. This craving binds you to suffering, Buddha said gently. Seeing with clarity frees you from the binds of craving, opening the way to inner peace and liberation, Buddha stated. The disciples listened intently, absorbing each word as though it were light piercing through the shadows of their minds. Kassapa spoke after a long pause, his voice thoughtful. Master, does this mean we should relinquish all attachments? He asked. To relinquish attachment does not mean rejecting connection. It means accepting that connection itself is subject to impermanence, Buddha replied. A river flows endlessly, always changing its course, yet it remains a source of life and beauty, Buddha observed. You, too, must learn to flow with life's currents, neither resisting nor forcing their direction, Buddha instructed with patience. When we resist impermanence, we create suffering. When we embrace it, we find liberation, Buddha emphasized. The disciples nodded, and Kassapa bowed deeply, the weight of the lesson settling in his heart like a steady tide. Ananda asked, Master, how shall we practice right view in our daily lives, where distractions are constant and illusions strong? Buddha responded, to practice right view, you must first cultivate mindfulness. Observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, Buddha guided. See how your mind clings to desires, fears, and hopes. Observe these attachments as they arise and fade, Buddha advised. Through mindfulness, you gain awareness. And through awareness, you gain the strength to let go, Buddha explained patiently. The group fell silent as Buddha continued. Right view is not merely an intellectual understanding. It must penetrate deeply into your heart, Buddha said. To live right view, you must embody it in your actions, speech, and choices, Buddha remarked with conviction. This practice transforms your life, allowing wisdom to guide you rather than ignorance and craving, Buddha stated firmly. Wisdom begins with understanding, and understanding begins with seeing things as they truly are, Buddha concluded gently. The disciples sat in reflection, their minds processing the profound teachings of their master. Silence filled the space. Buddha pointed to the horizon, where the sun's rays stretched across the sky. The light reveals everything clearly, he said. Let this light represent right view within your minds. Allow it to illuminate the truths of impermanence and interconnection, Buddha added. Do not fear impermanence. Embrace it as your greatest teacher and guide, Buddha said with compassion in his voice. Ananda bowed deeply, inspired by Buddha's words. Kassapa placed his palms together, honoring the wisdom shared. Buddha smiled warmly. You have taken the first step. Right view is the foundation of the path to liberation, he said. Let these teachings settle within you like seeds. With care and practice, they will blossom into understanding and peace, Buddha concluded. The disciples departed, their hearts heavy with the promise of wisdom and light. The Bodhi tree stood quietly above them. Its leaves whispered in the gentle breeze, a reminder of life's impermanence and the beauty it holds in its fleeting moments. Buddha remained beneath the tree, his presence serene and immovable, embodying the truths he had spoken to his disciples. In the quiet forest of Bodh Gaya, the teachings of impermanence began to take root in the hearts of seekers. Another day, another journey under the vast, open sky. The disciples gathered by a riverbank, its waters calm and reflective. Buddha stood before them, his robe swaying gently in the soft morning breeze. The gentle murmur of the river created a serene backdrop for his teachings. Buddha spoke, his voice carrying over the flowing water. Today, we shall delve into right speech and right action, two pillars of the Eightfold Path, he began. Words, like the wind, have the power to scatter seeds or destroy what is delicate, Buddha said. His tone deliberate. Right speech is to speak truthfully, kindly, and with purpose, he explained, looking into the eyes of his disciples. Harmful words wound both the speaker and the listener. They are arrows that pierce the heart, Buddha continued. Words born of hatred or deceit create discord and suffering. To speak rightly is to bring harmony, Buddha added. Ananda raised his hand, seeking clarification. Master, what should one do when anger clouds the mind and hurtful words arise? He asked. Buddha turned his gaze to Ananda, his expression serene. Anger is a flame that burns the speaker. First to master words, one must first master the mind, he said. Pause when anger arises. Breathe deeply and observe the emotion. In stillness, choose words that heal, not harm, Buddha instructed. The tongue is small, but it steers great consequences. Use it wisely, like a craftsman shaping a precious vessel, he added. Kassapa nodded thoughtfully. Master, what of silence? Is it not better to remain silent than risk harm with speech? He inquired. Buddha smiled gently. Silence, when born of wisdom, is golden, but silence, born of fear or neglect, can also harm, Buddha replied. When words are necessary, they must be chosen with care. Speak only when your words improve the silence, he emphasized. Right speech is more than avoiding lies or anger. It is speaking with purpose, compassion, and awareness, Buddha stated. The disciples fell quiet, reflecting deeply. Master, another disciple asked, if the self is ever changing, How can we know what is real? What is true? Buddha placed the sand back into the river and gestured toward the flowing water. Truth is found in impermanence. Right action follows naturally from right speech. Actions, like words, have the power to create or destroy, he said. Right action is to live with integrity, avoiding harm to others and the self, Buddha explained. To act rightly, one must consider the consequences of their deeds. As a farmer considers the seasons before planting, he stated. Avoid actions that cause suffering or exploit others. Live with compassion and understanding. For all beings wish to avoid pain, Buddha added. An act of kindness, however small, ripples outward, touching lives you may never know, he said. His voice soft, a disciple asked, Master, how can we be sure our actions do no harm? The world is complex, and choices are difficult. Buddha listened, then replied with calmness. Intent guides the purity of action. Act with an open heart and a clear mind, he said. If harm results despite your intent, accept it, learn from it, and strive to act better in the future, Buddha advised. Right action is not perfection. It is a constant effort toward harmony and understanding, he added gently. The hunter sets traps out of need, yet he harms others to fulfill his desire. Such action creates suffering, Buddha explained. Contrast this with the gardener, who tends to the earth, nourishing life and reaping its beauty, he said. Right action transforms the self and the world. Like sunlight nurturing a seed into bloom, Buddha remarked. Ananda asked, Master, is right action limited to grand deeds? Or do small acts carry equal weight? Buddha smiled warmly. No action is too small. A kind word, a helping hand, a moment of patience. All these are right action, he said. The ocean is made of countless drops. Likewise, a life of compassion is built on many small acts, Buddha observed, as the sun climbed higher, casting golden light on the river. Buddha's voice grew softer but no less profound. Right speech and right action are tools to shape the world around you. They are the fabric of a virtuous life, he said. Speak with wisdom, act with compassion, and let your life be a reflection of the peace you seek, Buddha concluded. The disciples bowed low, their hearts full of reverence and determination. The river flowed on, carrying their silent vows with its gentle current. Another day, another lesson beneath the expanse of the open sky. The disciples gathered on a serene mountain slope. Buddha stood at the summit, his figure silhouetted against the morning sun, his expression calm yet profound. The wind carried the scent of blooming flowers. Mingling with the crisp air of the highlands, Buddha began to speak, his voice steady and clear. Today, we will explore the final steps of the Eightfold Path, he said. Right mindfulness, right concentration, and right livelihood are the keys to liberation from suffering, Buddha explained. These practices anchor the mind, focus the spirit, and align your life with harmony and purpose, he added. Let us begin with right mindfulness. The art of being fully present in each moment, Buddha stated. The untrained mind drifts like a restless leaf, swayed by the winds of worry, desire, and regret, Buddha observed. To cultivate mindfulness, you must root yourself in the here and now, the only moment that truly exists, he emphasized. Ananda asked, Master, how do we root ourselves in the present when the mind so easily strays? Buddha smiled gently. Begin with the breath, Buddha replied. The breath is an anchor, ever present, a reminder of life's rhythm and your connection to all beings, he continued. Focus on each inhale and exhale, noticing their texture, depth, and flow, Buddha instructed. When thoughts arise, observe them without judgment. Like clouds passing through an open sky, Buddha said. This is right mindfulness. Being aware without attachment or aversion, he explained. A disciple spoke hesitantly. Master, What of the pain and sorrow that arise in mindfulness? Should we not avoid such feelings? Buddha responded, mindfulness embraces all that arises, without preference. Pain and joy are both teachers on the path, he said. By facing sorrow with awareness, you strip it of power. By savoring joy with mindfulness, you deepen its beauty, Buddha explained. The group grew quiet. Reflecting on these words, the mountain seemed to hold its breath, as though nature itself listened. Buddha continued, shifting the focus of the teaching. Right concentration follows naturally from mindfulness, Buddha said. It is the stilling of the mind's restless currents, allowing clarity to shine through, Buddha added. The concentrated mind is like a flame undisturbed by wind, steady and unwavering, Buddha described. To cultivate right concentration, practice single-pointed focus, directing your attention fully to one object or thought, Buddha instructed. Choose something simple, a mantra, a candle's flame, or the breath. Let all distractions fade away, Buddha said. Kassapa asked, Master, what is the purpose of such concentration? Does it not isolate us from the world? Buddha answered, concentration does not isolate, it liberates. It quiets the chaos of the mind, revealing deeper truths, he explained. A calm mind perceives reality more clearly, free from distortions of fear, desire, and confusion, Buddha stated. Concentration is not an escape but a gateway. Through it, you access insight and serenity, Buddha said. The flower's fragrance is released when its petals bloom. Likewise, wisdom arises when the mind is fully concentrated, Buddha explained. The disciples nodded, their understanding deepening. The sun climbed higher, bathing the mountain in golden light. Buddha's voice took on a tone of gentle encouragement. Right livelihood is the final step we shall discuss today, Buddha said. It is the alignment of your work and sustenance with the values of compassion and integrity, he explained. To live rightly, your means of livelihood must not cause harm to others or exploit the world's resources, Buddha emphasized. The butcher profits from death, the thief from deceit. Such livelihoods deepen suffering and entangle the soul, Buddha observed. Contrast this with the farmer who sows and reaps in harmony with nature. Sustaining life, Buddha said. Ananda asked, Master, what if one's livelihood is forced by circumstance? How does one align it with the path? Buddha responded thoughtfully. Circumstances may limit choice, but intention remains within your control. Strive to act with care and minimize harm, he advised. Even within limited means, you can live with integrity, choosing compassion over greed, wisdom over ignorance, Buddha explained. Right livelihood is not just what you do but how you do it. With mindfulness and purpose, Buddha clarified. The disciples reflected in silence, the enormity of these teachings settling in their hearts. Buddha continued, his tone steady. The Eightfold Path is a map, but you must walk it with courage and perseverance, Buddha said. Each step builds upon the last, guiding you toward the end of suffering and the liberation of the soul, Buddha added. Mindfulness roots you in the present. Concentration calms the mind. Livelihood aligns your actions with your values, Buddha summarized. Together, they form the foundation of a life lived in harmony, wisdom, and compassion, Buddha concluded. The mountain stood witness as the disciples bowed low, their hearts alight with resolve. The wind carried Buddha's words, weaving them into the fabric of the world. The journey continued, the path illuminated by the teachings of the Enlightened One. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.